Hi everybody, welcome back to Critical Mass. Today we want to talk about shows that had so much promise and that they started off really well. And then eventually just got worse or really finished horribly. Just lost all interest or just declined completely. A lot of shows end on high notes. Very popular even when they end. We're going to talk about the ones that just did not accomplish that. All right, Paul. Why don't you name us off your series that you would say on?
Do we do one?
We'll do one.
Okay.
One.
Well, we all gave our favorite TV shows, right?
Yeah.
And both of my picks are on my list.
Okay.
So they're really good to me.
I bet I can guess one of yours.
Yeah, because I just said them to you.
Oh, did you? I was upstairs. I didn't hear you.
The first one I'm going to give is House MD. Okay.
Huh?
House starts off, and you have 5 amazing seasons of just degenerate, brilliant, genius glory. Okay, because Hugh Laurie playing House, he's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of another actor out there who could have portrayed House as good as he did. It was a perfect casting for the role. And then you get to season 6 and 7, where they...
Because how cranky can they make him?
Well, it's not about that. It's about the cast surrounding him. Yeah. Because for the first couple of seasons, you had the 3 main side characters, or 4 main side characters, whatever it was. And then they changed them. And you say, oh, how is this going to work out? And they actually were really good. But then in season 6 and 7, they changed them again. And oh my God, the characters that they introduced, I don't want to point any fingers, but their voice grates on you, and you actually just want to turn it off. And I've seen these actors in other TV shows, and still, I want to turn those off because they're that bad. And so a TV show that I enjoyed immensely, to put it on my top 10 list, the last 2 seasons were just garbage for me.
Okay.
All right. What do you got on your list?
Oh, so we're not going 1-1-1. We're doing 1-1-1.
Sure.
Okay. First on my list. Have you guys watched Heroes?
Yep.
Yeah. So Heroes, loved the first season. I thought, wow. And I was late to the game on this one because I picked it up as a recommendation somebody gave me. And so I watched it because I figured, okay, well, we'll see. It's a superhero thing, right? So first season, fantastic. They had some things that you hadn't seen in superhero shows before, and it was great. And then I'm not even sure what happened in the second season. They just really dropped the ball as far as the story and the talents and the acting. It's almost as if it was 2 different crews making it,
different writers,
right? Different writers, and they just they weren't sure what direction they were going with the story.
I think there are 3 or 4 seasons in that.
Maybe I gave up after
5. Yeah,
I gave up after season 2.
I was okay with season 2. It got a little bit worse through, I think, 3 and 4. Like, yeah. I can't remember how many seasons. It did
gradually decline as it went along.
Yeah, it was like, we have this awesome premise, but we don't know how to continue the story.
Yeah. And so it got really bad. But I mean, if you haven't seen it, check out the first season. It was really good.
Yeah, that's the show with Hayden Panettiere, and I followed her from that to Nashville, which was another good show if you like country music.
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
Right.
Yes. The catchphrase, right?
Yeah. Good memory.
Yeah. All right. I was going to say that one, so I have another one on my list, and this one I'm going to have to really chalk up because of the final season. Got to throw out Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones had everyone just tuning in, talking about it. It was great. And then the last season, which was nothing really to do with the previous books and everything that they wrote on their own, they were more interested in getting it done and cutting it short so they can go and work for Disney, who they just signed on to do a bunch of Star Wars films.
Yeah, but they had run out of books. Like they were sort of making it up.
They were making it up now as they went along,
yeah.
And it went to crap. Mm-hmm. Everybody hated the final season.
Like, what was so bad about it? I didn't see it.
They were you know how you're wondering, okay, who's going to end up being the king at the end of all this? And they gave it to a person no one cared about. They just killed off people like nonsensely instead of having a reason for it in the film. Like when the queen died, the dragon queen. Oh my God! Like they just stab. Okay, she's dead. What?
That's quite the build-up for nothing.
Yeah, like at one point they come across and the dragon's flying over the big dragon fleet. Oh, we got to watch out for the dragon fleet. It's so powerful and everything like that. And it kills one of the dragons. Oh, that's a powerful thing. And another dragon comes in the next time and just wipes it out like this. Like no consistency, no nothing. That final season was horrible, horrible.
All right. What else you got, Paul?
My next one was actually number 1 on my favorite TV shows list, Supernatural. Okay, so it's in a show that's 15 seasons.
No, listen. You said get past the first couple of episodes and it gets really good.
Yes. So this works backwards and forwards, I guess.
And then really bad again.
For something that goes on for 15 seasons, you have to expect that there are some seasons that are better than others. And that's true for Supernatural. But every season was still good. Okay? But then comes season 15, the final season. And my wife and I are watching it, and she's a diehard fan. We're watching it, and it's kind of like, well, these are kind of like wasting your time episodes. Like, if you're playing a video game, it's the side quest. And it seems like they're doing it because they need to fill episodes instead of doing a Supernatural season.
Yeah, they're probably just trying to run out their contracts.
Yeah, and then at the very end, the second last episode, they have the big climactic ending, which turned out to be pretty lame. But then they have the final episode, which was the lamest thing in history. It was a big, from the moment you start watching, big waste of time. And that's awful for me to feel because I loved those two characters, those two actors, the whole storyline. And yeah, so season 15 of Supernatural. Supernatural, my favorite TV show of all time. The worst season I've ever seen of any TV show.
Well, thank you for saving me 15 seasons of misery.
There you go. Just watch 13.
Just watch 13.
All right, Mark, what do you got for your second?
Okay, so I have this thing about me where if shows are widely viewed and popular, I'm not really interested in them. So I like to see shows, I get sort of into shows before they become popular. And then everybody else gets on the bandwagon and I just lose interest. For me, Dexter. Okay, so I watched Dexter for the first season. I thought it was great. People hadn't really caught on to it yet. And it was great. The second season, everybody was sort of talking about it. It started to build popularity, and I just completely lost interest. I got through the second season, but after that, I was done. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that one. Like, the first season was epic.
Right.
And then second season was, okay, yeah, that's all right. Forget about the rest.
Yeah, because I feel it's all rehashes of, I'm not even going to say the first season because it was too good, but all rehashes of the second season. Right? So I'd say Dexter, and apparently they're making a comeback. They're coming back and they're doing sort of not a reboot, but a continuation.
With the same
season.
guy?
Yeah. I mean, I might check it out just because it's a continuation season and what are they going to do, but that's mine.
Okay. There's a lot of other choices we could do out there. Lost. People hated the final season of Lost. I'm going to go back.
No, it wasn't the final season.
Well, the episode,
It was
for
the
sure.
last episode that was terrible.
I never really got into Lost, so I couldn't really talk too much on it, but I'm going to go back to a little bit more of a retro show, something from my childhood. Being a person who loves law, and I love the law shows and everything, my original one that I started watching was Matlock. And I used to watch Matlock religiously. Loved it. And it got into season 7 and season 8, and they changed all the surrounding cast. And they kept bringing in these new people. And it lost its chemistry that the show had with the original cast. The interaction with the daughters and the neighbor. And, I mean, they even brought back, Don Knotts came back to work with Andy Griffin again, like they did from their original show. And there was a lot of chemistry there. And then in the last 2 seasons, it just went completely off. The same kind of law stories, but there was just something gone now. It just didn't seem the same at all.
I'll admit, Matlock is probably one of those shows that has been on forever, but I don't think I've ever seen a single episode.
Yeah, you had to be, of that time. It certainly doesn't stand up to today's law shows, courtroom dramas, it's corny, it's cornball. but it draws you in for that era, like in that time for myself. A little bit of nostalgia as well for a simpler time, a country bumpkin kind of cheapskate, super cheapskate rich guy. He charges Matlock. This is what, 80s and 90s, right? He charges $100,000 a case for a murder case, and he's borrowing money to buy hot dogs every day because he likes hot dogs at this one place. And so there's little things like that just draws you in. But man, those last seasons when they brought in a new sidekick, a new investigator, a new side lawyer, it just went all downhill. And I hate to say it, but yeah, stick with the first 6 seasons. So there you go.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll never watch an episode.
Gone, staying relevant.
Much too old. But I wanted to bring out some older shows as well as, the modern era, just to show that it falls apart back then just as much as it falls apart nowadays. So what are some shows that you guys think really started well, had your interest out there, and you really liked it, and then they just kind of started getting worse and worse and worse, kind of like The Mandalorian. Sorry, Mark. We were warned, do not mention The Mandalorian.
They're gonna say the Critical Mass YouTube channel.
Well, stay tuned for season 8. You think we're bad now? Wait 8 years.
Yeah, season 1 was really good, so go watch all those other videos.
Yeah. We got better, believe it or not. So yeah, let us know some shows in the comments down below, and until next time, we'll see you on the channel.